What if I told you that right now, you're just seconds away from diving into a tale of love, secrets, and destiny that'll keep you glued to your screen? Picture this, a sprawling mansion, dripping with old money and older secrets, where a boy born into unimaginable wealth falls for a girl who's got nothing but dirt under her nails and dreams in her heart. He's the heir to a fortune. She's the gardener's daughter. Their love was forbidden, sparked in the innocence of childhood, only to be torn apart by forces bigger than both of them. But here's the kicker. Years later, when life has hardened them both, something pulls them back together. What is it? A chance encounter? A hidden letter? Or maybe a secret so big it could shatter everything they've built? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to find out exactly what reignites this childhood love and whether it can survive the storm that's coming. This isn't just another love story, it's a roller coaster of emotions, packed with drama, betrayal, and the kind of passion that makes you believe in fate. So grab your popcorn, hit that like button, and let's unravel this mystery together, because I promise, you won't want to miss a single second. You know that feeling when you're a kid, and the world seems so big, so full of possibilities? That's where this story starts, in a place where summer days stretched on forever, and two kids, one born with a silver spoon, the other with calloused hands, found something pure in each other. I'm talking about James, a boy who grew up in a mansion so grand it had its own name, Willowbrook Estate, where chandeliers glittered like stars and every room whispered of power. James had everything: private tutors, fancy vacations, a future mapped out before he could even spell his last name. But what he didn't have was freedom. His world was a gilded cage, and every move he made was watched, judged, controlled. Then there was Lily, the gardener's daughter, who lived in a tiny cottage on the edge of the estate. Her days were filled with the smell of fresh earth, the hum of her father's lawnmower, and a quiet strength that came from knowing the value of hard work. Lily wasn't like the other kids James knew. She didn't care about his family's money or their status. To her, he was just James, the boy who'd sneak away from his lessons to help her plant tulips or chase fireflies at dusk. Their friendship was a secret, a rebellion against the rules of their worlds. But it was more than that. Even as kids, there was a spark, a connection that felt like it was written in the stars. You've felt that before, haven't you? That moment when you meet someone, and it's like your soul recognizes them? That's what James and Lily had. But here's the thing about love, it's never as simple as it seems, especially when the world around you is determined to tear it apart. Now, let's talk about you for a second. You're here because you love a good story, right? You're the kind of person who gets sucked into tales of passion, heartbreak, and second chances. Maybe you've had a love like that yourself, one that got away, one that left you wondering, what if? Or maybe you just love the idea of two people beating the odds, fighting for something real in a world that's always trying to pull them apart. Either way, I see you, and I'm telling you, this story is for you. I'm not just here to tell you about James and Lily. I'm here to take you on a journey. You're going to laugh with them, cry with them, and root for them like they're your best friends. And I'm not going to lie, there are moments in this story that are going to break your heart. But I promise you, every twist, every turn, is leading to an answer that's going to make it all worth it. So don't you dare click away, because if you do, you're going to miss the moment when everything changes. You're going to miss the secret that's been buried for years, the one that's going to make you gasp and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a story like this again. I'm talking directly to you, because I know you're curious. I know you want to know what happens when two people, torn apart by time and circumstance, get a second shot at love. And I'm going to give you that answer, but you've got to stick with me till the end. Let's set the scene a little more, because I want you to feel like you're right there with James and Lily. Imagine Willowbrook Estate in the late 90s, a place where the air smells like roses and privilege. The lawns are manicured to perfection, the kind of green that only comes from generations of wealth. But for James, it's a prison. His parents, cold and calculating, have his life planned out. Private school, Ivy League college, a marriage to some heiress who'll keep the family name shining. Love. That's not part of the equation. Meanwhile, Lily's world is the opposite. Her father, the estate's gardener, is a man of quiet pride, teaching her to find beauty in the simple things: a perfect bloom, a starry night, a kind word. Lily's got dreams of her own, maybe to study botany or open a nursery someday, but she knows her place in the pecking order. She's the helps kid, invisible to the elites unless she's carrying a watering can. Yet, when she and James are together, none of that matters. They'd spend hours exploring the estate's secret corners, hiding in the hedge maze, whispering stories under the willow tree, promising each other they'd always be friends. But you and I both know promises like that don't always hold up. Life has a way of getting in the way, doesn't it? And for James and Lily, it wasn't just life. It was a betrayal, a moment so painful it drove a wedge between them, sending them on separate paths for years. What was that moment? I'm not going to spoil it yet, but let's just say it's the kind of thing that leaves scars, the kind you carry into adulthood. Here's where things get juicy, because this isn't just a story about young love. It's about what happens when that love gets a second chance. Fast forward to today, 2025, and James is no longer that wide-eyed boy. He's a man, hardened by years of living up to his family's expectations, running a business empire that's as much a burden as it is a legacy. He's got wealth, power, everything anyone could want, except the one thing he's never stopped thinking about. Lily, on the other hand, has carved out a life for herself, far from the shadow of Willowbrook. She's built something real, something hers, but she's not untouched by the past either. The memories of James, of what they had, linger like a song she can't stop humming. And then out of nowhere something happens. A twist of fate. A moment that feels like the universe itself is pulling them back together. Is it a random meeting at a coffee shop? A letter that surfaces after years of being hidden? Or maybe it's something darker, something tied to the secrets of Willowbrook itself? I'm not going to tell you yet, because I want you to feel the same anticipation I felt when I first heard this story. I want you to be on the edge of your seat, wondering how two people who were once so close can find their way back to each other, or if they even should. Because let's be real, love isn't always enough. There are obstacles, lies, and truths that could destroy everything. And that's what makes this story so gripping. You're probably wondering why this story feels so personal, so real. It's because it's not just about James and Lily. It's about all of us. It's about the people we loved when we were young, the dreams we had to let go of, and the moments that make us wonder if we can ever go back. I'm betting there's someone in your life, maybe someone watching this video right now, who makes you think of your own, what if? That's why I'm so excited to share this with you, because this story is going to hit you right in the feels. It's going to make you laugh, it's going to make you cry, and it's going to make you believe in the power of love all over again. But here's the deal. You've got to stick with me. You've got to watch this video all the way through, because I'm saving the biggest reveal for the end. I'm talking about the moment when James and Lily come face to face with the truth. A truth that's been buried for years, a truth that could either save them or destroy them. And you, my friend, are going to be there when it happens. So, don't even think about clicking away. Hit that like button, drop a comment below telling me what you think so far, and let's keep this journey going together. Now let's talk about the stakes, because this isn't just a love story, it's a battle. James and Lily aren't just fighting for each other. They're fighting against a world that's stacked against them. His family, with their iron grip on his life, will stop at nothing to keep them apart. Her past, full of struggles and sacrifices, makes her question whether she can trust him again. And then there's the secret, the one I keep hinting at, the one that's going to change everything. What is it? Is it a lie someone told years ago? A promise that was broken? Or something so shocking it could unravel the very foundation of Willowbrook? I want you to feel the weight of that question, because it's the heart of this story. It's what's going to keep you up at night, wondering how it all plays out. And I'm not going to leave you hanging forever. I'm going to give you the answer, but you've got to trust me and stay till the end. This is a story about love, yes, but it's also about forgiveness, about courage, and about what it means to fight for something that matters. You're going to see James and Lily at their best and their worst, and you're going to root for them even when it feels impossible. Alright, let's pause for a second and get real. You and I, we're in this together. I'm not just some voice on a screen. I'm someone who loves a good story just as much as you do. I know you're curious, I know you're invested, and I'm not going to let you down. This video is my promise to you. If you stick with me, I'm going to deliver a story that's going to stay with you long after the credits roll. So, here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment right now and tell me, what do you think is going to happen next? Do you think James and Lily are destined to be together, or is the past too heavy to overcome? And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you don't want to miss the next part of this story. I'm talking cliffhangers, plot twists, and moments that'll have you texting your friends to watch this video too. You're not just watching a story. You're living it with me, with James, with Lily. And right now, we're standing on the edge of something big. So, here we are, at the moment where everything's about to change. James and Lily, two people who thought their story was over, are about to collide in a way they never expected. The past is catching up, the secrets are bubbling to the surface, and the question is, can love survive the truth? I'm not going to tell you what happens next. Not yet. But I will tell you this. In the next few minutes, you're going to see something that'll make your jaw drop. A moment that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about James, about Lily, about Willowbrook. So, don't you dare click away. Stay with me, because the answer to the mystery, the one you came here for, is just around the corner. What's the secret that's been hidden all these years? And will it bring James and Lily together, or tear them apart forever? Right where we left off, with your heart pounding and your mind racing, let's dive deeper into the world of James and Lily, where every corner of Willowbrook Estate holds a memory, a secret, or a shadow waiting to be uncovered. You're still with me, aren't you? Good, because this story is about to get even juicier, with layers of drama, hidden truths, and a cast of characters who'll make you question who's really pulling the strings. Picture Willowbrook in its prime, back in the late 90s, when James and Lily were just kids, their worlds colliding in stolen moments that felt like magic. But to understand why their love was so dangerous, and why it's still at risk today, we need to peel back the layers of their past, introduce the people who shaped their lives, and uncover the mysteries that are starting to creep out of the shadows. This isn't just about two kids who fell in love. It's about a web of loyalty, betrayal, and power that's been spinning for decades. You're going to meet new faces, hear whispers of scandal, and feel the tension building like a storm about to break. So settle in, keep your eyes on the screen, and let's explore the heart of this epic love story, because I promise, the twists are only just beginning, and you're going to want to know what happens next. Let's start with James, the golden boy of Willowbrook, whose life looked perfect from the outside but was anything but. Growing up as the only son of the Harrington family, James was raised to inherit an empire. A sprawling network of businesses, investments, and influence that stretched across the country. His father, Charles Harrington, was a man of steel, with a handshake that could seal $1 million deal and a glare that could silence a room. Charles didn't just want James to succeed. He demanded it, molding him into the perfect heir from the moment he could walk. James's mother, Eleanor, was no less formidable. A socialite whose charm masked a ruthless ambition to keep the Harrington name untarnished. To them, James wasn't a child. He was a legacy, a vessel for their dreams of eternal dominance. But young James, with his messy hair and curious eyes, hated the weight of it all. He'd sit through endless dinners with stuffy executives, dreaming of the world beyond the estate's iron gates. That's where Lily came in, a breath of fresh air in a life choked by expectations. She was his escape, his confidant, the one person who saw him as more than a name. Their summers together were a rebellion, a secret world where they'd build forts in the woods, share stories of far-off places, and make promises they believed would last forever. But even as kids, they knew their worlds were divided. James was destined for boardrooms, Lily for the soil. And someone was always watching, waiting for the moment to remind them of their place. Now let's shift to Lily, because her story is just as vital, and it's going to pull at your heartstrings. Lily grew up in the shadow of Willowbrook, in a modest cottage that was more home than the mansion ever could be. Her father, Thomas, was the estate's head gardener, a man whose hands were rough from years of tending roses but whose heart was soft as the petals he nurtured. Thomas raised Lily alone after her mother passed when she was just a toddler, pouring all his love and wisdom into his daughter. He taught her the names of every plant, the rhythm of the seasons, and the quiet dignity of work done well. Lily was his pride, a girl with a sharp mind and a stubborn streak, who'd spend hours sketching flowers or reading books under the oak tree. But life wasn't easy for them. The Harringtons paid Thomas well enough, but the class divide was stark. Lily was never invited to the mansion's parties, never acknowledged by the elites who strolled the gardens her father perfected. She felt the sting of being less than, but she never let it dim her spirit. With James, though, she was an equal. Their friendship was a sanctuary, a place where she wasn't the gardener's daughter but just Lily, the girl who could make him laugh with a silly joke or dream up adventures that made the world feel infinite. Yet, even in those golden days, there were hints of trouble. A harsh word from Eleanor, a warning glance from a groundskeeper, a sense that their bond was a threat to the order of things. What was it about their friendship that scared the adults so much? That's a question we're going to circle back to, because it's tied to the secret I've been teasing, and it's bigger than you might think. Here's where the plot thickens, because no love story this intense exists in a vacuum. Let's introduce a new player. Margaret, Lily's childhood friend and the daughter of Willowbrook's housekeeper. Margaret was a firecracker, all sharp wit and fearless energy, who grew up alongside Lily in the servants' quarters. While Lily was dreamy and introspective, Margaret was practical, always scheming ways to bend the rules or sneak a peek at the Harringtons' lavish parties. She was fiercely loyal to Lily, but there was a quiet envy in her heart. She saw how James looked at Lily, how their connection was something special, and it stirred a longing she couldn't quite name. Margaret's perspective adds a new layer to the story, because she wasn't just a bystander. She was part of the events that changed everything. As kids, the three of them would sometimes play together, but Margaret always felt like the third wheel, sensing that James and Lily shared something she could never touch. Years later, as an adult, Margaret has her own secrets, her own ambitions, and a role in the rekindling of James and Lily's story that's going to surprise you. What does she know about the past? And why does she seem to be holding something back? Her presence introduces a subplot of loyalty and betrayal, a reminder that love doesn't just test the heart, it tests friendships, too. You're going to want to keep an eye on Margaret, because she's got a story of her own, and it's tangled up in the mystery we're unraveling. Speaking of mysteries, let's talk about Willowbrook itself, because this estate is more than a backdrop, it's practically a character. Built in the 1800s by James's great-grandfather, Willowbrook is a labyrinth of opulence and secrets, with hidden rooms, locked attics, and gardens that seem to whisper if you listen closely. The locals in the nearby town of Ashford still tell stories about the estate. Rumors of lost fortunes, forbidden affairs, even a ghost or two. As kids, James and Lily loved exploring its nooks and crannies, but there were places even they weren't allowed to go. One summer, they stumbled across a locked door in the east wing, covered in ivy and forgotten by time. James swore he heard something behind it, a faint hum, like music, but Lily laughed it off, saying it was just the wind. That moment stuck with them, a fleeting brush with something they couldn't explain. Now, years later, that door is about to become important again. What's behind it? A relic of the Harrington family's past? A clue to the secret that drove James and Lily apart? Or something else entirely, something that could shake the foundations of everything they know? This subplot of the estate's hidden history adds a layer of intrigue, making you wonder what else Willowbrook is hiding, and who's been guarding those secrets all these years. Let's fast forward to 2025, because the past is only half the story. James is now 30, a man who's achieved everything his parents wanted but feels emptier than ever. He runs the Harrington empire from a sleek office in New York, his days filled with meetings and his nights with shallow connections that never fill the void. He's handsome, polished, the kind of guy who turns heads, but there's a weariness in his eyes, a longing for something he lost long ago. Lily, meanwhile, is 29 and living in a small town a few hours from Willowbrook, where she's turned her love of plants into a thriving nursery. Her life is simple but full, surrounded by friends and flowers, though she's never quite shaken the memory of James. She's stronger now, more guarded, but there's a part of her that still wonders what might have been. Their paths haven't crossed in over a decade, not since that summer when everything fell apart. What happened that summer? I'm not going to spill it yet, but let's just say it involved a confrontation, a lie, and a promise that was broken in the worst way. The pain of that moment sent them spiraling in opposite directions, and yet, here they are, about to be drawn back together. How does it happen? Is it a chance meeting at a charity gala? A cryptic message that arrives out of the blue? Or maybe it's tied to Willowbrook, which has been left abandoned since Charles's death 2 years ago. Its gates locked but its secrets very much alive. The tension is building, and you can feel it, can't you? That sense that something big is coming, something that's going to change everything. Here's where we add another twist, because no epic love story is complete without a rival. Enter Victoria, James's fiancée, a woman who seems to have stepped out of a magazine cover. Victoria is everything the Harringtons could want. Beautiful, accomplished, the daughter of a senator with her own law firm and a smile that wins over everyone. She's been by James's side for 3 years, planning a wedding that's set to be the event of the season. But there's a crack in her perfect facade. She knows James isn't fully hers. She's seen the way he gets lost in thought, the way he avoids talking about his childhood. Victoria isn't just a love interest. She's a force, determined to protect her future and keep James in line. But what does she know about Lily? Has she heard whispers of the gardener's daughter who once stole James's heart? And what lengths will she go to ensure that past stays buried? Victoria's perspective introduces a new layer of conflict, a battle not just for James's heart but for control of the narrative itself. She's not a villain, not yet, But her presence raises the stakes, making you wonder if James and Lily's rekindled love can survive the pressures of the present. And then there's the question of whether Victoria has her own secrets, her own reasons for clinging so tightly to James. This subplot of rivalry and ambition adds fuel to the fire, keeping you hooked as the drama unfolds. You're probably feeling it now, that itch to know more, to unravel the threads we've been weaving. That's exactly where I want you, because this story is about more than just James and Lily. It's about the choices we make, the people we become, and the truths we're afraid to face. You're invested, I can tell, and I'm not going to let you down. Every question I've raised, every hint I've dropped, is leading to a moment that's going to blow your mind. But we're not there yet. The tension is still building, the secrets are still lurking, and the stakes are only getting higher. What happened that summer to tear James and Lily apart? What's behind that locked door in Willowbrook? And what's the truth that's been hidden for so long, the one that could either reunite them or destroy them for good? I'm not going to give you the answers right now, but I promise they're coming. You've got to stick with me, keep watching, because the next part of this story is going to take you deeper into the heart of Willowbrook, where the past and present collide in a way you won't see coming. So drop a comment below. Tell me who you're rooting for, James and Lily, or maybe even Victoria, and hit that like button to let me know you're as obsessed with this story as I am. The storm is brewing, and you don't want to miss what happens when it breaks. Alright, you're still here, right there with me, caught up in the whirlwind of James and Lily's world, where love, secrets, and betrayal are colliding like a storm that's just starting to unleash its fury. You can feel the tension, can't you? That electric buzz in the air, like we're teetering on the edge of something massive. We've been building up to this moment, peeling back the layers of Willowbrook's past, getting to know the players in this epic drama. James, the heir trapped by his legacy. Lily, the gardener's daughter with a heart full of dreams. Margaret, the loyal friend with secrets of her own, and Victoria, the fiancée who's not about to let her perfect life slip away. But now, things are about to take a turn you didn't see coming. A twist that's going to make your jaw drop and keep you glued to this story. I'm talking about a revelation that shakes the very foundation of everything we thought we knew, raising the stakes higher than ever and pushing James and Lily closer to a truth that could either save them or shatter them. The subplots are weaving tighter, the mysteries are deepening, and the main conflict is about to explode in a way that'll leave you desperate for answers. So don't even think about clicking away. Grab your drink, hit that like button, and let's dive into the heart of this love story, because the drama is about to hit a whole new level, and you're not going to want to miss a single second of it. Let's pick up right where we left off in 2025, with James and Lily on the brink of a reunion that feels like fate but smells like trouble. James is back in Ashford, the town near Willowbrook, for the first time in years, ostensibly to oversee the sale of the now-abandoned estate. But deep down, you and I both know it's more than that. There's a pull, a whisper from the past, drawing him back to the place where he was happiest, and most heartbroken. Lily, meanwhile, is thriving with her nursery, but she's been restless lately, haunted by memories of that summer when everything changed. The catalyst for their collision comes unexpectedly. A letter, yellowed with age, arrives at Lily's doorstep, postmarked from Willowbrook. It's not signed, but the handwriting is eerily familiar, and it contains a single line. The truth is in the East Wing. Find it before they do. Your heart's racing now, isn't it? Because this isn't just any letter. It's a spark that reignites the mystery of that locked door James and Lily found as kids, the one they swore hummed with secrets. Lily's first instinct is to ignore it, to leave the past where it belongs, but curiosity gets the better of her. She drives to Willowbrook, her heart pounding as she steps onto the overgrown grounds for the first time in over a decade. And who does she run into, standing by the rusted gates, looking as shocked as she feels? James. Their eyes meet, and in that moment, it's like no time has passed at all. But before they can even process the flood of emotions, the ground shifts beneath them, literally. A tremor, small but unmistakable, shakes the estate, and a crack appears in the wall of the East Wing, revealing a glimpse of something metallic inside. What is it? A hidden room? A safe? Or something far more dangerous? This is the moment where everything changes, and you're right here with me to witness it. Now, let's talk about this twist, because it's a game changer. That tremor wasn't just a random act of nature. It's tied to a secret that's been buried at Willowbrook for generations. As James and Lily cautiously approach the cracked wall, they find not just a hidden room but a vault, sealed with a lock that requires a key neither of them has. Inside, they catch a glimpse of papers, photographs, and something that looks like a ledger, but the vault is rigged with an alarm that starts blaring the moment they touch it. They barely escape before security, hired by someone, but who? Arrives, forcing them to flee into the hedge maze they used to play in as kids. Hiding among the overgrown branches, their whispers turn to questions. What's in that vault? Why is someone so desperate to keep it hidden? And how does it connect to the letter Lily received? Here's where the twist deepens. As they catch their breath, Lily notices something clutched in James's hand. A locket, one she hasn't seen since she was a child. It's hers, a gift from her father. Lost the summer everything fell apart. James found it in the vault, but he doesn't know how it got there, or why it was locked away with documents that could ruin his family. This locket isn't just a keepsake. It's a clue, a piece of the puzzle that suggests Lily's past is more intertwined with the Harringtons than she ever realized. Was her father, Thomas, involved in something bigger than gardening? Did he know something about the Harringtons' empire that cost him more than his job? The stakes are skyrocketing, and you can feel the suspense building, because this discovery doesn't just threaten James and Lily's reunion, it threatens to unravel the very legacy of Willowbrook itself. Let's weave in the subplots, because the ripples of this twist are spreading. Margaret, Lily's old friend, is back in the picture, and she's not just a bystander anymore. She's been working as a real estate agent in Ashford, and it turns out she's the one handling the sale of Willowbrook. But here's the kicker. Margaret knew about the letter before Lily did. She didn't send it, but she saw it being mailed, and she's been wrestling with whether to tell Lily the truth about what she knows. Margaret's loyalty is torn. She loves Lily like a sister, but she's also got her own ambitions, including a deal with a shady developer who wants Willowbrook for reasons that go beyond property value. Margaret's been digging into the estate's history, and she's stumbled across rumors of a scandal involving Charles Harrington, James's father, and a mysterious payout to an employee years ago. Could that employee have been Thomas, Lily's father? And if so, what did he know that made him a threat? Margaret's subplot is a ticking time bomb, because her choices, whether to help Lily or protect her own interests, could either expose the truth or bury it deeper. You're starting to see the web now, aren't you? How every character is connected. How every secret is a thread pulling tighter around James and Lily's fragile reunion. Then there's Victoria, James's fiancée, who's not about to let her carefully planned future crumble. She's in New York when she gets a call from one of her father's political allies, warning her that James has been spotted in Ashford, poking around Willowbrook. Victoria's no fool. She knows James's history with Lily, even if he's never spoken her name. What she doesn't know is that her own family, the powerful Senator Whitmore and his network, have their own ties to Willowbrook's past. Victoria's subplot takes a darker turn when she hires a private investigator to tail James, only to receive a cryptic report about irregularities in the Harrington estate's financial records. These irregularities point to a hidden account, one that was active during the summer James and Lily were torn apart. Victoria's not just fighting for her relationship now. She's fighting to protect her family's reputation, which could be dragged into the mud if the truth about Willowbrook comes out. Her investigator warns her about the vault, and Victoria's next move is a bold one. She heads to Ashford herself, determined to confront James and shut down whatever he's chasing. But what she doesn't expect is to come face to face with Lily, the woman she's only ever known as a ghost from James's past. This confrontation is looming, and you can feel the drama building, because when these two women meet, it's not just about love, it's about power, pride, and a truth that could destroy them all. The main conflict is escalating now, and it's not just about James and Lily's love anymore, it's about survival. The vault, the locket, the letter. They're all pieces of a puzzle that points to a conspiracy bigger than either of them imagined. Was Charles Harrington hiding something illegal? Something that Thomas discovered and paid the price for? Or is there more to the story, something tied to the very foundation of Willowbrook itself? The tremor that revealed the vault wasn't a one-off. There've been others, small but frequent, and locals are whispering about cursed land and old mining records that suggest Willowbrook was built over something valuable. Something worth killing for. James and Lily are in over their heads, caught between their rekindled feelings and a danger that's closing in. They're not just running from security now. They're running from the truth, because every step closer to it puts them in the crosshairs of people who'll do anything to keep it buried. And here's where the suspense tightens. As they hide in the maze, James confesses something to Lily, something he's never told anyone. That summer when they were torn apart, he didn't just leave willingly. Someone threatened him, someone close to his family, and it wasn't his parents. Who was it? And why did they care so much about a boy and a gardener's daughter? This confession is a cliffhanger in itself, leaving you gasping for answers, because it suggests a betrayal that goes deeper than we thought. You're hooked, I know you are, because this story is pulling you in like it's pulling me. You're wondering about the vault, the locket, the tremors, the threats, and you're dying to know how it all ties together. I'm not going to resolve it yet, because the climax is still coming, and it's going to be worth the wait. But I need you to stay with me, because every twist, every revelation, is building to a moment that'll make your heart race. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you think is in that vault, or who you think betrayed James all those years ago. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you don't want to miss the next part of this journey. We're heading toward a showdown, where James, Lily, Victoria, and Margaret will all collide, and the truth about Willowbrook will finally start to surface. But for now, the question hangs in the air, heavy and unanswered. What's worth hiding in a vault that someone would destroy lives to protect? And will James and Lily survive long enough to find out? Here we are, you and me, standing at the precipice of the storm that's been brewing through every twist and turn of James and Lily's story. You've been with me through the stolen summers of their childhood, the heartbreak that tore them apart, the mysteries of Willowbrook Estate, and the pulse-pounding moment when a hidden vault and a lost locket pulled them back together. Now, with the air thick with suspense and the truth closer than ever, we're diving into the climax of this epic love story. A moment that's going to answer every question burning in your mind and leave you breathless. The stakes couldn't be higher. James and Lily are hiding in the hedge maze, clutching a locket that ties Lily's past to a secret so dangerous it's worth killing for. Margaret's loyalty is wavering, Victoria's closing in, and the tremors shaking Willowbrook hint at something buried beneath the estate. This is it, the moment where love, betrayal, and destiny collide, and I promise you, it's going to be unforgettable. But just when you think you've got it figured out, there's one final twist that'll turn everything upside down, leaving you in awe and maybe even wiping away a tear. So don't you dare click away, hit that like button, drop a comment with your predictions, and let's bring this journey to a close together, because the ending of He Was Born into Fortune, She Was the Gardener's Daughter is going to stay with you long after the screen goes dark. Let's dive into the climax, picking up right where we left James and Lily, their breaths shallow in the maze as the sound of approaching footsteps echoes through the night. The security team, hired by an unknown force, is closing in, and the vault's alarm is still blaring, a beacon drawing danger closer. James's confession, that someone threatened him to leave Lily all those years ago, hangs between them, but there's no time to process it. They need to get back to the vault, to uncover the truth before it's locked away forever. With a shared glance that says more than words ever could, they slip out of the maze and race to the east wing, their hearts pounding as they pry open the cracked wall. Inside the vault, they find a treasure trove of secrets, a ledger detailing payments to an offshore account, photographs of Charles Harrington with a man who looks strikingly like Lily's father, Thomas, and a legal document that freezes the blood in their veins. It's a deed, signed by Charles and Thomas, transferring ownership of a mineral-rich plot beneath Willowbrook to a shell company. The tremors? They're from unauthorized drilling, a modern operation tapping into a vein of rare earth metals worth billions. Thomas wasn't just a gardener. He was a whistleblower, ready to expose Charles's illegal deal, and it cost him everything. The locket, engraved with a tiny map of the estate, was his insurance policy, a clue to the truth he hid before he was silenced. But silenced how? That's the question that pushes the climax to its peak, because as James and Lily piece it together, the vault door slams shut, trapping them inside. The air grows thin, and a voice crackles through a hidden speaker. You should have left it alone. It's Margaret, and she's not alone. The betrayal cuts like a knife, and you're feeling it too, aren't you? Margaret, Lily's childhood friend, has been playing both sides. She's been working with the developer, a front for the same shell company Charles created, and they're desperate to keep the drilling operation secret. Margaret's not evil, she's desperate, driven by years of feeling overshadowed, of scraping by while the Harringtons lived like kings. She sent the letter to Lily, hoping to lure her to Willowbrook and force a confrontation that would scare her off, but she didn't expect James to show up or the vault to be found. Now, with James and Lily trapped, Margaret's at a crossroads. She could let the security team handle them, ensuring the secret stays buried, or she could finally choose loyalty over ambition. As the oxygen dwindles, Lily pleads with her through the speaker, her voice breaking as she reminds Margaret of their childhood, of the promises they made under the oak tree. It's a heart-wrenching moment, and you're right there with them, holding your breath as Margaret's resolve cracks. She disables the lock, freeing James and Lily, but not before the security team arrives, led by none other than Victoria. The confrontation is electric. Victoria, poised and furious, faces off against Lily, the woman she's always feared, while James stands between them, torn by love and duty. But before fists or words can fly, the ground shakes again, harder this time, and the East Wing begins to collapse, forcing everyone to run for their lives. In the chaos, James grabs the ledger and locket, and Lily clutches a photograph of her father, proof of his bravery. They escape, but the truth is out, and Willowbrook's secrets are about to see the light of day. The resolution unfolds with a rush of emotion, tying up the threads of this sprawling saga. James and Lily, battered but alive, take the evidence to a journalist in Ashford, who breaks the story wide open. The drilling operation is shut down, the shell company exposed, and Charles Harrington's legacy is tarnished, his illegal deal laid bare. Thomas is posthumously honored as a hero, his name cleared after years of being dismissed as a disgruntled employee. The photograph reveals the final piece of the puzzle. Thomas didn't just work for Charles. He was his confidant, trusted until he discovered the mineral plot and refused to stay silent. The threat James received that summer? It came from Eleanor, his mother, who knew about the deal and would do anything to protect the family name, even if it meant breaking her son's heart. This revelation frees James from the guilt he's carried for years, and he and Lily finally have a chance to heal. They don't jump into a fairy tale ending. Too much has happened for that. But they start rebuilding together, their love stronger for the scars it bears. Victoria, faced with the collapse of her family's ties to the scandal, walks away, choosing her pride over a fight she can't win. Margaret, racked with guilt, confesses her role to Lily and leaves Ashford, promising to make amends in her own way. Willowbrook itself is left to the town, its grounds turned into a public garden in Thomas's memory, a place where beauty grows from the ashes of greed. You're feeling the weight of this, aren't you? The way love and truth can triumph, even when the cost is high. But here's the final twist, the one that'll leave you reeling. As James and Lily stand in the new garden, planting the first tulip in her father's honor, Lily notices something etched on the locket's map. A tiny symbol, barely visible, that matches a mark on the oak tree where she and Margaret used to play. They dig beneath it, expecting nothing, but find a small metal box buried by Thomas years ago. Inside is a letter, written in his hand, addressed to Lily. It's not just a goodbye. It's a confession. Thomas wasn't just a gardener or a whistleblower. He was a geologist by training, hired by Charles to survey Willowbrook's land in secret. He fell in love with the estate, with its beauty and its people, and chose to stay as a gardener to protect it. The letter reveals one last secret. The minerals weren't the only thing buried at Willowbrook. There's a second vault, hidden deeper, containing evidence of other deals Charles made. Deals that could implicate powerful figures still in play today. Thomas left it for Lily to decide. Expose it and risk everything, or let it rest and live in peace. The camera lingers on Lily's face, her eyes torn between the past and the future, as James takes her hand. The choice is hers, and the screen fades to black, leaving you stunned, your mind racing with possibilities. What will she do? That's the question that'll haunt you, the one that makes this story unforgettable. You're sitting there, feeling the rush of this ending, aren't you? This story wasn't just about love, it was about courage, about fighting for what's right, even when it hurts. James and Lily's journey shows us that the past doesn't define us, but it shapes us, and sometimes, the hardest truths are the ones that set us free. The takeaway? Love is worth the fight, but so is justice, and the choices we make ripple far beyond our own lives. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think Lily should do with that second vault. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because stories like this are why we're here, sharing these moments that make us feel alive. Thank you for sticking with me through every twist, every tear, every triumph. This is He Was Born into Fortune, She Was the Gardener's Daughter, and it's a story you'll carry with you, a reminder that even in the darkest storms, love and truth can bloom.